Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Derek, and in today's video of Know Before You Go, we're going to be discussing everything you might potentially need to know before you order a pre-made Thanksgiving meal. So the year of 2024 is almost done with only a few more weeks left in this year. We're not done yet, even though in order for us to have gotten to this part of 2024, we had to have lived and survived through the rest of 2024. And so Thanksgiving is arguably going to be one of the most busiest and popular times of the year because there's a lot of shopping happening, there's a lot of traditions being set up, and it just really lays down the groundwork for the holiday season, again, in the United States. Because Thanksgiving is so popular and it's so chaotically busy, you may not have the time or the energy to make a Thanksgiving spread for you or your family. And that's what we're going to be focusing on today is pre-made Thanksgiving meals. Before we start, can you go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button below, and then also turn on your ring notification bell so that way you're able to see all my videos every time I upload a new video every week. Your subscription costs nothing to you, but it means the world to me. So the more that you engage with my channels, the more I'm able to get these videos to the deep dark corners of the YouTube algorithm. So let's be real. Regardless if you're a person who's been making Thanksgiving dinners for years for your family and your friends and yourself, or if this is your first time making a Thanksgiving dinner, we can all agree on the fact that making Thanksgiving meals is time-consuming and energy draining. There's a lot of logistics, preparation, and coordination that goes into making these Thanksgiving meals. And at the end of the day, the hardest part of making Thanksgiving meals is not actually making the meals. It's not even eating the meals. It's the cleanup. And so that's why I'm making this video, is because if you don't have the time or energy to make a Thanksgiving meal for you or your family or your friends, you have options. You have the ability to go to a participating local fast food chain or restaurant, or even a grocery store, to go ahead and place your Thanksgiving meals or orders so that way you can kind of skip the prep time and go straight to the eating. I'll admit, ordering Thanksgiving meals from a fast food restaurant or from a grocery store isn't quite traditional, but it is also convenient. So you have to kind of weigh your pros and cons in what you want to do. So in regards to the pros and cons, let's talk about some of the pros and cons for ordering a pre-made Thanksgiving meal. Let's start off with the most obvious and apparent pro for a pre-made Thanksgiving meal, and that's just going to be convenience. As I mentioned earlier, if you are that person who's been designated to make that Thanksgiving meal for your family or your friends, it can take a lot out of you mentally, emotionally, physically. You're going to have to prepare, coordinate, put all the logistics on for the table. I mean, the list kind of just goes on and on and on. And so that's why ordering a pre-made Thanksgiving meal can actually save you a lot of time and effort and just mental capacity, because things are going to be mostly done for you. We're going to talk a little bit later about the actual preparation for thawing the food and reheating the food for consumption. And so the second pro here is going to lean heavily on the first pro, which is going to be the easiness of things, of just ordering a pre-made meal from a grocery store or a fast food place and then just eating. It's just that easy. Again, there are going to be some steps for thawing and reheating your food for consumption, but those steps are a fraction of what you would have to do in the kitchen if you did Thanksgiving meal all on your own from scratch. So the third pro is going to be affordability. And so this is going to be a little bit of a touchy subject because some people are okay with going in and purchasing their meal, whereas some people are going to be okay with making their meal from scratch. And so how does that equate to affordability? Is because those people who make their food from scratch, there is nothing wrong with that. I actually encourage it. But I personally find myself going into the grocery store, especially Thanksgiving, and having this big array and all these things in my head saying, oh, you need this, you need that, you need this, you need that. And I think it's just kind of like, how much do we actually need to spend? And so what I'm getting at here is that if you're thinking about cost, you really have to stick to a budget and a list of things that you need to buy at the grocery store for your Thanksgiving meal specifically. And if you don't stick to a budget or a list of things that you need, you're going to see all those grocery bills kind of rack up, and you could be spending a lot of money with that. Whereas on the flip side, depending on where you order your pre-made meal, you may be able to customize your side items, your biscuits, your cranberries and whatnot, and then you may be able to customize what kind of turkey are you getting? Are you getting turkey breast? Are you getting a full turkey? Are you getting slices of turkey? And so again, you are only going to be paying what that particular place is offering for their particular catering bundle for those pre-made meals. So basically, whatever that business price model is going to be what you should expect to pay, versus the high potential of going to the grocery store for a few items and then coming out with 2 cartfuls of things that you may potentially need for a Thanksgiving dinner. Another pro is going to be the fact that the flavor profiles of these pre-made meals are pretty much going to be standardized for that company, for that business or restaurant. I personally have my own preconception of what a turkey tastes like, but also keep in mind I'm Filipino, and so I'll sometimes add some Filipino ingredients to my turkey. So if you're one of those people who have an expectation for a turkey or Thanksgiving meal to taste a certain way based off of your culture or just the way you like it, you may actually want to steer away from the pre-made Thanksgiving meals, because all of their flavors, their flavor profiles that these businesses, these restaurants are doing is going to be pretty much standardized to whatever that company, that business is cooking their turkey meals for. So for instance, I love Popeye's fried chicken, and it's definitely not the healthiest. However, I know that Popeye's is going to be doing some fast food Thanksgiving meals, and their particular profile for their turkeys are going to be Cajun flavor. And me being Filipino, I don't necessarily dabble with the flavor profiles of Cajun food, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not going to enjoy it. So when it comes down to ordering your meals, make sure you do your research, because there are going to be times where a place is offering a certain flavor profile versus how you may expect it based off of your background. In regards to Popeyes, I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm going to be ordering a pre-made meal from them later on this year. All right, so now let's go into some of the cons for these Thanksgiving pre-made meals. The first con that I'm going to be talking about today is limited availability. You cannot just walk into the local grocery store or Popeyes or Boston Market or Cracker Barrel and say, I would like to have my Thanksgiving meal today, please. It doesn't work that way. You actually have to pre-order your meal ahead of time. I recommend you do one of 3 things. You go to the actual place and place an order directly in person, or you call them and state that you're going to be pre-ordering it and then obviously have your credit card payment ready, or you can go to the website and pre-order your turkey Thanksgiving meal there. So those are 3 ways you can actually do that. All 3 ways are going to be effective, but what you want to do is make sure that you're pre-ordering your meal, because like I said, you're not going to be able to go into this particular location and say, yeah, I randomly just thought I wanted a turkey, and so hook me up with one. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. I really can't fault the businesses for that, because of the fact that they don't want to order too many turkeys and then waste anything. And then also they want to make sure that they have all of the stock necessary for those customers who did pre-order. So when you are pre-ordering from a fast food or a grocery store, there is a time limit there. So they may say you need to order 30 days advance or 10 days advance, and then they're going to allot you a time for either picking up your pre-made meal or you're going to be able to have it delivered. And again, super subjective. Not every type of business is going to offer that delivery meal. So again, if you want to know the latest and greatest information for your pre-made meals from wherever it is that you're buying, go to their website. Another con that is kind of related to one of the pros about these pre-made meals is the fact that it's not personalized. It's going to be a standardized flavor profile and look, and sometimes you're going to have standardized sides for wherever it is that you're buying. And so if you're one of those people who likes to add a little bit of dash of this, a little bit of dash of that, and then maybe a lot of this, because whatever your flavor profile, whatever it is that you like to personalize the way you like to taste things, You're not gonna get that with these pre-made meals. And so again, that's something you wanna keep in mind, because remember our anecdote about the Cajun turkey from Popeyes? They're not going to have a Cajun turkey with a splash of Filipino ingredients on their turkey. You're gonna get whatever they offer for their flavors. The next con here is going to be a little bit subjective in my personal opinion, and that's because of the fact that it comes down to health. If you're watching your health, you're watching your waistline. I don't really know who watches their waistline during Thanksgiving meals, but if you're one of those people, you need to know that fast food or grocery store meals isn't always going to be the healthiest. But at the end of the day, let's say if you're deep frying a turkey or you're ordering a turkey to be deep fried, oil is oil. And so, I mean, again, you get to kind of choose how healthy or how unhealthy you're gonna eat. And obviously, if you wanna eat a little bit more healthier, you're going to be the person who's going to be making your own meals. So when you're considering these pre-made Thanksgiving meals, you want to always consider these few things. So the price, that's always going to be the bottom line for everything, right? You want to make sure you can afford it. So do you want to go to the grocery store and leave with 5 carts of groceries, or do you want to pay a little bit and get just exactly what you're going to be eating for that Thanksgiving meal? So do your homework, call around, check and see with those restaurants or grocery stores and say, I'm interested in XYZ, how much does this cost? You may be surprised that a lot of these pre-made meals are going to be a little bit more cost effective and a little bit less of a dent on your wallet. Another consideration about these meals is going to be the management of your expectations. So you have to make sure that you're not getting in your own head and thinking that Popeyes is going to give you the largest 150-pound turkey ever and you're just that special customer who is going to receive that one turkey. Because it doesn't work that way. You're actually going to be getting a generic size that the Popeyes crew's picking out, and you're gonna get what you're gonna get. So make sure you manage your expectations by not setting the bar too high. So continuing on with considerations for these pre-made meals is the fact that you want to be able to know some of the ingredients that are being used inside of these meals. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of these meals and the flavor profiles are going to be mostly the same, but you do want to make sure you're asking specific questions, especially if you have some type of food allergy. We don't want anyone to have any food allergies and go into anaphylaxis shock on the dinner table, because that doesn't really make for a good Thanksgiving meal. And so much like anything else in 2024 or the modern technology age, everything has a review. If you go to Amazon, you try to find a phone, there's a review for that. You try to buy a car, there's a review for that. The only thing I can't really find a review on is your cat's personalities, because I would totally mark my cat a 1-star when she's being a little grump. Anyways, back with reviews, you want to make sure you're doing your research about these pre-made Thanksgiving meals. Do your review research to make sure that if someone says, oh, my turkey was good, but, or, oh, I loved my turkey, it was the best type of meal I've ever had, those are gonna be things that you're gonna be looking for, because a lot of what these people are saying in the reviews may impact you. I wanna state that the quality of your pre-made meal is going to be subjective, because let's just be honest, there are going to be some employees at some of these restaurants that are really going to dedicate at giving you a good meal, and then you're going to have some other employees that are gonna be like, oh, why am I working on Thanksgiving? I should be at home playing Xbox. And then you're obviously going to get lesser quality service and also most likely lesser quality food. So again, manage your expectations, because honestly, you don't want to be disappointed that day if you set the bar too high. So after a lot of research, I found out that these pre-made meals are going to be pre-cooked, they're going to be frozen, and then you're going to have to thaw it out, reheat it for consumption. And that's just the standard of these pre-made meals. You're not going to be receiving a super hot, fresh out of the oven turkey or the sides. It's all going to be frozen. And so I'm sorry to disappoint you if that's what you were thinking you were going to get. However, if you follow the grocery store's directions to thaw and reheat this pre-made meal, it should, I'm going to emphasize on should, it should come out as if the food was just made on the day that you're going to be eating it. And as adults, we all have to read and follow the directions that were given to us from the restaurant or the grocery store, so that way we can obtain the flavor profile, the quality of that cook for that pre-made meal. All right, so let's play a little bit of pretend here. Let's say that You have family or friends that are coming over and you didn't tell them that you weren't going to cook Thanksgiving dinner, but you are going to go ahead and order a pre-made meal for Thanksgiving. But again, we're pretending that we were the ones who are making this. So in order for you to kind of disguise the fact that you're not actually making this food from scratch, you can do things like make your house or living space a little bit more festive. You could decorate with Thanksgiving things, which I'm not quite sure if there is any dedicated Thanksgiving decorations. If there are, let me know in the comments below, because I know there's Halloween decorations and then there's Christmas decorations, but I don't really know if there's any Thanksgiving dedicated decorations. I remember when I was a younger kid, way back when, I would actually do like the hand thing. I would trace my hand on a piece of paper and then I would cut it out and make a turkey out of it. That's probably the maximum decorations that I have just right off the top of my head. So another way to make your house a little bit more festive is to decorate your table setup. That's going to be where you get all your china out, your fancy silverware, the nice cups, you know, those things that you only use once a year. And then, for instance, just zhuzh it up, make it all fancy with some fancy napkins, or make sure everything is nice and shiny. So that way, just in case we forgot to follow the directions for thawing out the turkey and then reheating it, if the food is potentially bad, again, presentation makes a huge difference when having food, because even if the taste isn't there, everything else looks good. So again, just do what you gotta do. Okay, so after a little bit of Google Fu, these are going to be the restaurants that I know for sure are offering some type of pre-made Thanksgiving meals. Starting off with number one, and that's going to be Costco. Costco is an international company and they're going to be offering this Thanksgiving kit, and you're going to be able to order or have this particular Thanksgiving kit delivered to your house or to your local Costco, and then you're going to be able to do some Thanksgiving stuff from that. Another company that I've been talking about in this whole entire video is Popeyes. Popeyes is well known for making sure that they provide a turkey, a Cajun turkey specifically, to their customers who place their orders in advance, so that way they can have a pre-made meal. Safeway or Albertsons, depending on where you live in the country. Safeway universally is good for catering, and they do offer some type of Thanksgiving pre-made meals, so that way you can kind of customize it, so that way you're getting more biscuits or more cranberries, or maybe you're getting slices of turkey breast versus a whole turkey. And so head over to their website so that way you can figure out which one works best for you. Publix grocery store. They're not very prominent on the west coast of the United States where I live nearby Seattle, but I know Publix is actually pretty prominent on the East Coast, and I do know they are actually offering a pre-made Thanksgiving meal. So head over to their website, again, link in the description below, and then you can actually go there and figure out which one works best for you. So a curveball that actually kind of got me is going to be Arby's. So Arby's, I'm just gonna fully disclose that when I was looking at their website, they do offer Thanksgiving meals, but it's in the form of sandwiches. So you're gonna get like a turkey sandwich from Arby's. They're not actually going to offer you like cranberry sauce. They're not gonna offer you a slab of turkey or a whole turkey. They're just going to have turkey items on their list. So again, make sure you hit up their website in the description box below, so that way you can see if Arby's is the route that you're wanting to go. Whole Foods has been doing Thanksgiving pre-made meals for quite some time. They actually have one of the more robust customization options within their website, so that way you have a greater understanding of what type of items you're able to order, as well as different types of turkey styles. Like, do you want a slab of turkey? Do you want the slices of turkey breast? Or do you want a whole entire turkey? Whole Foods is actually really good for that customization if that's something that you want. Another popular choice that's been in the pre-made Thanksgiving meals for quite some time is Bob Evans. Again, they're not super prominent on the West Coast, specifically in the Seattle area. However, Bob Evans does offer a really robust Thanksgiving meal setup. So they have probably the most robust customization of your Thanksgiving meals, with different tiers, different packages, and then you're able to customize them even further once you actually start to do the ordering process. So unfortunately, I'm not near Bob Evans, but if I was, I think that would actually be where I would be going. So another restaurant, not quite a fast food restaurant, but Cracker Barrel. So Cracker Barrel has been in the game for making these pre-made Thanksgiving meals forever. And it's kind of like a staple for Cracker Barrels, because if you don't want to make your Thanksgiving dinner and your family doesn't want to have a dinner at your house, you could actually head over to Cracker Barrel and they'll have a Thanksgiving meal there. But I do want to state that if you are going to go to any of these restaurants, regardless if you're eating there or you're picking up or whatever it is, make sure you check their store hours, give them a call, and then say, hey, you know, I'm interested in eating in for your turkey, whatever. Check and see if that's an option. Don't just march up to that particular establishment and then be turned away because they're not, you know, offering dine-in seating. So some places I couldn't confirm and validate for you that I'm shocked is not doing Thanksgiving meals. Maybe they did it in the past, but they're not doing it right now. Places like Bojangles and KFC, at least over here in Seattle, they're not doing any pre-made Thanksgiving meals. Another one that shocked me is going to be Church's Chickens. They actually, at least in my area again, are not offering any type of Thanksgiving pre-made meals. So let's wrap things up. Why, or better yet, who are these Thanksgiving pre-made meals for? And that's gonna come down to really you. Are you considering these pre-made meals because you don't have time or energy, or maybe you're not expecting to have family or friends over this year, or maybe you're visiting family or friends and you're only responsible for bringing a side item? These pre-made meals are exactly for those people. No one's gonna judge you. I'm definitely not gonna judge you if you decide that you're gonna order a turkey from Popeyes versus making your own, because that's hours out of your day back into your life. And as always, we're gonna go over KnowBefore U Go tips. So tip number one is going to be the pricing. The pricing is going to be heavily subjective to what you're ordering. Are you ordering a whole turkey, or are you just ordering a side? Or are you ordering multiple turkeys? Again, you're not gonna really know the price until you do the research and figure out what is going to be best for your situation. KnowBefore U Go tip number two is going to be ordering ahead. If you already made the decision that you're going to be ordering one of these pre-made meals, you have to lock your order in way in advance, so that way that business, that grocery store, whatever it is, they know that you are going to be ordering a meal and they're going to prepare it for you. Because these Thanksgiving pre-made meals are becoming more prevalent and becoming more of a consideration for American families, you want to make sure that you are locking in that particular order, making sure that you're locking in the availability, and you're not one of those people who are going to be frantically trying to place an order hours before Thanksgiving dinner. KnowBefore U Go tip number three is going to be making sure that you are staying within the business operating hours of that location. Thanksgiving is a holiday for many businesses and establishments, and just because your Safeway or your Popeye's chicken is fulfilling orders that day, it doesn't mean that they're going to be open on the regular business hour spectrum. After you placed your order and you're being told that you have to pick up your turkey within X amount of time frame, make sure you're there on time, because those people have their own life, their own family and friends that they want to see, and they want to enjoy their Thanksgiving day as well. All right, so YouTube thinks that you should watch this video or that video. I'm not really sure where it's gonna show up, but you should watch it because YouTube thinks that you're gonna enjoy it. So I'll see you in that next one.